Bad boys.
Yeah, bad boy.
Bad boys?
I immediately reminded me of like Minions saying bad boys.
Bad Boys is at the other thing.
Michael B apparently hated the script.
Oh, he did for once.
For the first one, he hated the script. So I think so. Ranking, like I would go 3 first, and
Okay.
that's the intro to our podcast. The listeners
Okay.
has to guess like what it is.
Yeah, even I couldn't guess, to be honest. And we were,
Seeing me.
that's the thing. I was like, is he gonna eat a bag of chips right now? What's happening?
Welcome everyone to the first ever episode of the Geek Life podcast. I have with me my very wonderful friend Jay, who's coming over to IGS for the first time.
Yes, finally, I'm here, baby. Yeah,
Me and Nolan have been chasing Jay for like 2 or 3 years to join the channel, but he kept saying that he's having scheduling issues. He's doing a show with The Rock. He's doing a show with. I couldn't
How
think of
did we-
anyone else.
how did we go from scheduling issue to like rock? Like, bro, that transition. Okay, that is
I got nervous. It's the first podcast. It's going to be the podcast where we talk about a lot of older movies. Today we're going to be talking about the Bad Boys trilogy, the first 3 movies, as the 4th movie is coming up next week. We'll still be doing the other stuff in this channel, like the reactions, discussions. This is just a side thing that we thought of doing every week. So that's this. And like if you're already subscribed to the channel, over the course of the next few weeks, we'll be having other members of the channel pop up. I think next week Nona should be coming. So like Nona, hopefully we'll have like Varun, Nolan pop up, and when we do different episodes. But for this, it's just 2 of us. So bad boys.
Yeah. Bad boy. Dude, first of all, I know we are supposed to go like 1, 2, 3, but
Yeah.
have you seen the teaser of the 4th one where
Yes.
Messi appears and he said, "Bad boys"?
Yeah, bad boys.
and that just gets me so much. I immediately reminded me of like Minions saying "bad boys,"
Right.
and I was like, "Did anyone else get it?" And I saw the comments filled as
Everyone
well.
is saying that.
Yeah, and I was like, "That was so hilarious." We want Messi in bad boys. Come on, what are we doing at this point?
Yes. So
That was super.
if you haven't and you just came up across this video like by accident, that means you have not subscribed to the channel. So do subscribe for more content like this, and you'll also get other reactions, discussions, whatnot. Just scroll through the channel and you can see a lot of inconsistencies in the uploads. We are also-
Hey, at least we keep it honest here, right?
Yeah, we're very honest. We keep it very honest. We're also over at Instagram, so if you want to follow us over there for more inconsistent uploads there also. Make sure, give us a follow. Just give us a chance, yeah? So, the first movie, Michael Bay sort of came out, he's still kind of fresh off the boat, you could say. Like, not he hadn't done a lot of movies. He's not the action director that he is today. It's not that big name action director he was today. So he had a very meager budget of $17 million, and he decides to start 2 really popular TV actors at that time, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Will Smith, of course, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they made this movie, a action buddy cop movie, and I would say I rewatched all the 3 movies. I think Jay has also done the rewatch. So
Yes.
like, to be honest, the first movie, there's nothing much special in terms of the plot, and it gets very weird because I feel like the first half of the movie gets very focused on the plot. Like they're like, this is the drug bust, this is that, and towards the end it's just Michael Bay going, just screw it, explosions.
Throw everything on screen. Yes,
Yes,
throw
just put
everything on
everything. But the first one, I think it shines because of the chemistry between Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, like the way they just play off with each other. I think that's just great. And I think the addition of the female character, like I think that creates a nice sort of, like it gives a nice... what do I say? Like in a force to it, because Martin Lawrence has to pretend to be Will Smith's character. I think those were the scenes where it kind of shined because there was a lot of comedy bits, and I think that's what this film kind of missed because they should have focused more on the actors more than the action and the plot. I think because you're not doing anything too special with the plot anyway. So
So
the
yeah,
first one.
just like you mentioned, like I rewatch all the three, and it's like one definitely feels in the hindsight, it feels like the relatively the weaker one than the other two, because I think in the first one they were still trying to figure out okay what they exactly want this thing to be. Either they wanted to focus on like the chemistry between like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, or they wanted to be a action movie as well. Then there is the comedy and like other aspect of it. But by the end of one, and you can see it in second as well, they went all out in like action and like everything. And by the third, with the leap and everything, so I like it's a good thing for a franchise to at least start evolving from the first itself, and that's what they did. First one was like it's still it sets up the foundation for the whole thing. And I my one of the favorite scene which I have in the whole trilogy is the scene which is just with the elevator guy from Will Smith's home, and
Yes.
the conversation between Martin Lawrence, and he's
Yeah.
just so excited to be part of something, okay, something cool like police cop. And it's just I could relate to it so much, because if I had a job like this, I don't.
Yes.
If I had a job like this, such monotonous, again, maybe I don't. But if I had a job like this, and something exciting like that, even if it's like as small as just watching the door, it would be like, oh shit, I'm part of something cool. This is it. This is my big breakthrough. So yeah,
I
that
like when
part.
Martin Lawrence is explaining to him, like, you got to do this. He starts breaking out his own backstory that, what, I joined to be a cop. And Martin Lawrence is like, we don't have the time for you to.
Yeah, man. It's like
Oh,
it's just
man.
so much
I think
fun.
Martin Lawrence, like, Will Smith sort of has to play it straight. Like, a lot. Like, he's that cool guy, kind of that, like, he's the J of the, of IGS. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I did not paid him money to do that. Let me be very clear. I did not pay
I
him
have the
anything.
Google Pay payment receipt over here. Oh, 10 rupees. Did he miss a zero? Or?
God. You did not have to expose me like that, mother. Come on.
But yeah,
What
like what I'm saying is that Will Smith sort of plays it straight. Like, he's a cool guy. Like, I think his role is a little bit more, like, I wouldn't say easier, but it's a little bit more straightforward, kind of like cool guy action hero. But Martin Lawrence is like that typical sidekick, but he brings that variety to it. Like, that only Martin Lawrence could bring to that role. Like, he's so weird and, in the first movie, I think the weirdness is not embraced that much. Like, they're
Yeah.
still pretty much, going back to the very generic plot, and the characters and the villains, like, very less interactions. It's just, it's just that. But I do have some really good behind the scenes stuff. And
Awesome.
because, like, the first one, it was made in, as I said, it was made in a very small budget. Michael Bay was not a very big filmmaker at that point of time. So I do want to bring up some BTS stuff because I think, for the first movie especially, because the second and third, it becomes almost a studio-driven sequel. So, they have everything sort of sorted. But for the first two movies, there are a lot of, like, Easter eggs, which I found to be, like, really hilarious. So, that Miami shot, the iconic Miami shot with the Miami, and you have the plane
Yeah.
flying over. So that Miami board is actually not real, and that's
Oh.
actually a miniature. Michael Bay just put a miniature and he took that shot. I don't know if now after that they made it real, but according to this Easter egg thing, yeah.
That's
then
pretty cool.
then one other thing, that the whole first shot, where the carjacking happens, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, that was actually a post production thing. It was a reshoot done. It was not originally there in the script. So, and that car is actually Michael Bay's own car.
Oh,
That. So,
okay.
like, I love reading stuff like this, and there's more stuff of this where Michael Bay actually put himself on the line, and it reminds me a little bit of like Zack Snyder with his Zack Snyder's Justice League, where he just brought the actors back, shot it in his backyard, stuff like that,
Yeah.
like the extended sequence, like where you had the director just screwing the studio and just putting out. He's like, no, I need this. I'm going to do this. So there's actually more because. The explosion you see in the last part of the movie, where you see a corpse flying over. So
Yeah.
that explosion, the studio didn't want to pay for it, but Michael Bay sort of paid it with his own money for that thing, and he even paid the crew to stay overtime so that he could get that shot.
That sort of does make sense, because throughout the whole movie, like this, as you said, no, the scale wasn't that big, even for like a 90s movie. And but towards the end, it just feels like maybe they were like saving it everything for the climax. Like, okay, they have let's say 17 million budget, and they have like 15 million for like the last thing and 2 million for the rest of the thing. So like go. So it just
It
felt
is
like
like because if you look at the action scenes, it's like pretty like straight, and then final it's like bang bang bang, like
yeah.
typical Michael Bay action stuff. Yeah, obviously there was a lot of improvisations between Will Smith and because Michael Bay apparently hated the script.
Oh, he did for once.
For the first one, he hated the script, so he just encouraged the actors to keep improvising. And the last scene where he tells him that "I love you, man," Will Smith tells him back to Martin
Yeah.
Lawrence. So that was also something which Michael Bay had to convince Will Smith. He didn't want to do it. So for hours they had discussions, like, and Will Smith was like, "I won't say it," but then I think finally he just like he was like, "Okay, I'll take it."
Yeah, I had a
And
couple of jokes regarding Will Smith saying "I love you," but yeah, okay, we'll keep it for the
I mean, I
Oscars.
guess that time Michael Bay was not worried of getting slapped, so he was like, "Yeah, yeah, it's okay. We'll
Hmm.
have this sentence." Just 'cause that's a very bad joke. I'm sorry.
See, we keep trying till we hit the jackpot. That's
Yes,
the rule.
yes.
Never go
And this
empty.
nothing, none of this will be edited down also.
We do not, don't, just don't.
So, and I think now I think we sort of covered the first movie, like whatever it's there. Now we'll come to the second one. So, the second one, I must say, the first like 1 hour, I was like so bored because it
Oh,
felt like Michael Bay just like he was given a
yeah.
much bigger budget and like told to do whatever. And I just felt like this again. This feels more generic than the first one. Like but then there's a scene in the morgue where Martin Lawrence and Will Smith they sneak into this morgue, and they sort of have to like they're checking the dead bodies. It's such a disgusting scene. It's so
Yeah.
weird, but for some reason, the way Martin Lawrence pulled that off, I just could not stop laughing. Like he was like being so slimy, and then after that he gets high, and for me, I'm like, yeah, this is like I just want to watch Martin Lawrence do weird stuff. Like I didn't really care, and Will Smith doing this straight guy, action hero kind of thing. That's it. I didn't really want anything else. But
So, regarding the second film, what was like funny about it, just like you said, like they completely went like the Michael Bay way, and I think we feel that way mostly because we are rewatching it, 15-year-old movie.
yeah,
But for at the time, I feel if we were to watch it, for the first time, it would have been like, oh my! Now that we know, ki, acha, this is what Michael Bay is, and this is what he used to do. So that's why in hindsight, it's like, ki, okay, we get it, what he's trying to do. And it's like it's not appealing that much. But yeah, the mock sequence was hilarious. I just had a thought ki how cool it would be if these guys had to go into a haunted house and just like trying to figure out something, and just Martin Lawrence is like completely lost it. Ki I don't no, we are not gonna do this.
I think it's I think hilarious how Martin Lawrence like he's kind of stays like the same the first two movies like his character growth is pretty
Yeah.
much like non-existent like he's like the same guy, it's the same jokes, it's like but it's, for some reason I found it hilarious. And towards the end of Bad Boys 2 like they go to Cuba and it's like a whole different movie. And it's like this whole big on fight, and it looks amazing, and like I will tell you, like whenever anyone tells me Bad Boys 2, there are two scenes that I always remember. One is in terms of the action. One is there was this 360-degree action shot of the camera. It kept like swirling, during that gunfight between those two
Iconic
walls.
Michael Bay shot, yeah.
Yeah, and which I think many movies, especially Bollywood movies, I think have ripped off after that.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole Cuba sequence where it's just full on action and stuff. And I think the second one thing it gets improved is the villain. Like at least the villain is a little bit more hilarious here. Like he's going with the tone of the movie. Where he's like
Yeah.
that big cartoony action guy. Like when he sees the Last Supper photo of Jesus, he's like screaming like, "I wanted something fun."
Yeah. They at least like what like at the very least they took a 8 years leap, and one would expect them to like change something regarding the story, but it was still like after 8 years, if you want me to like come to a franchise like the Bad Boys or something, I don't mind even if it's a decent watch. I'm getting my money's worth. So it was like it was fine all around. At least the two actions scenes which you mentioned, especially
Yeah.
the like the highway one, which was like really really cool.
And
And
it's
you can
just like more money has come in.
yeah,
Because it's
exactly.
like every scene is like this could be the climax. Like this
Yeah.
could be the third act.
I think that's why they waited 8 years because they were like begging to all the producers, okay, crowdfunding and all the shit, so you can have enough money to pool, like
I don't think they
put
had a
effort.
crowd fund. Like that time, Will Smith probably became like a superstar by the time Bad Boys 2 came.
Oh yeah, he did like couple
Like
of like
only the first
big.
one I think had that issue of being this kind of like being I wouldn't say like 17 million is a very low budget I think, but it was in 1995, so I think at that point of time it was still not that small, but still like
Yeah,
comparatively for an action film and having like two unknown tested leads in Will
sure.
Smith and Martin Lawrence. Like that's I think that was pretty good. But I think Bad Boys 2, that's pretty much it. Like you probably realize that this is pretty spoiler heavy, but there's nothing much to like. It's not
Yeah.
like like there's a big secret or anything like that. I think the third one again. I'll get to the third one, but before we do that, I think Jay will be singing the rendition of the Bad Boys title song. So yeah.
Again, nice. How you put me on the spot without surprises. I'm like, yeah, of course I'm prepared, bro. Bad boys, bad boys.
What you
I'm
gonna
like,
do?
what you gonna do when they
They
come
come
for
for
you?
you.
I'm like Martin Lawrence, I cannot get the lyrics right, but I have the energy and vibe there.
Like I
Yeah.
kept wondering because I didn't know about the like, so this was actually originally a song that was then used in a different series as an opening, and then they just reused that song as the title of this movie. So it is actually an original song by I don't know the musician's name. I'm very bad at this, but like I didn't know this while watching. Like then I sort of like looked it up. I was like, okay, this is a song. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of fun. That's kind of fun. But yeah, now coming to the third one, I think easily the best movie out of the
Yeah,
three.
I agree.
It may not have those iconic action set pieces, obviously, because it's not Michael Bay directing it. We had
And you can see that.
yeah.
Like, for better or worse, you can see that.
So Adil and Bilal, they did the third, and they were also supposed to do the Bad Girl movie, which WB shelved and
Yeah, no
unfortunately,
surprise.
which is very shocking because you see this Bad Boys
Bro,
movie
you
being
said WB, and I'm like, yeah. If they green light something to the very end, then I'll be like, oh, okay, nice.
see, like Bad Boys 3 was not a surefire in the box office because it could have easily gone bad. It could have
Yeah.
not worked. People would have not been interested. But this movie, they did a pretty good job. It was a global success. So it's kind of shocking that WWE will pull the plug of the other movie, but let's not get to it because we'll be here all day. But yeah, I think Bad Boys 3, I think finally they understood that these are the actors that are the USP of this franchise. Let's just focus on them. More chemistry. The action scenes are not that iconic. That's there because you don't have the Michael Bay-ism. Although I did like the cameo that Michael Bay had in the wedding, where he just
Yeah.
says that
That
was
was
fun. Yeah, that was fun. But I think one thing this movie does very well is that obviously they age the characters. They embrace the fact that it's these many years have passed. We are now older. There's a newer team that they are working with. All that is fun. But the one thing they do this that the first two movies don't do is that they connected the hero, the protagonist with the antagonist character. So there's actually a connection between two, and that just makes the story a lot better. Like you have Will Smith's character, and you have the female character who's the villain, whose name again I forgot. But you
She's a
have
witch.
she's a bitch, yeah. But that just improves the film like tremendously, I think. Because you're actually engaged even in the final act, and the whole thing with Will Smith's son. I thought that was also really interesting. So yeah, those are my
Yeah,
thoughts. Like yeah.
what I like about the third part was like the stakes were there, and I could feel it at some point of time, which was not at all there in the first two movies. Like when Will Smith gets shot, like that just came out of nowhere, and then the lieutenant died. That was like heartbreaking for me, and that was the one like issue which I had with the movies. Like after that they didn't really let that emotion play out that much. They just moved on very quickly as compared to the I know he's a secondary character, but he was there from the first
And he
film,
was so
like
good as a boss.
he was so good. He was so damn good. And in the first movie, you will play you,
Yeah.
but not you, not in front of her at least. That was like such a funny sequence. And just like you said, like see, action and all that is cool, but if I'm not engaged to the characters, or if I don't feel anything about the characters on the screen, like, Martin Lawrence doesn't instantly, okay, he choose to get retired, then like, okay, Will Smith asked one last time and he just jumped up immediately. Nah, he's still precautious. He,
Right.
first of all, in the first hour, he doesn't go. Then he's like, okay, I'll go, but I'll have the other team involved as well, so we are not entirely at a danger here. So I really like those choices because those feel like the natural choices these characters will make. And even for Will Smith, one thing which I really liked was like, sort of, it reminded me of that Kong scene of like Samuel L. Jackson, where it's like, some people are always at war. And when Martin Lawrence say that to Will Smith, that what do you have, like, you when you don't have anything of family or a purpose in life, you're like chasing the glory days, and
Right.
it's
Right.
past that. You need something. Even the lieutenant bring that to him. Why are you doing this? When will you stop? Like, this has to stop. And then he realized for a second, Will Smith. Then he gave that really good example of metaphor of that horse thing, that
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
fear and all that drives you. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, those are really good. That those made me like, it does make sense. And I
First
kind of
time the
like
character progressed emotionally
act,
after
yeah.
three movies. Yeah.
And that was such a welcoming change. That's why I think, like, for both of us, it's like definitely the favorite, like the best one out there, because
It's
you can
easily the
see.
best written one out of the three. Like, a lot of effort definitely is put into it. But yeah,
Definitely.
I think so. Ranking, like, I would go three first, and one and two is kind of similar, but I think I would go three first. Then I would go for the first one, just because of that. It was original and
Yeah.
the small budget, the underdog kind of thing. So I'll go 3-1-2, and I think you're like 3-2-1. I think, right?
Yeah, mine is like 3 to 1. It's like close between 1 and 2,
Yeah.
but I just like
One
sort
and two
of.
is very similar in quality.
Yeah,
It's just that two is a
actually.
lot more bigger, but the
Yeah.
quality and the story structure is very similar. I think.
Yeah, two was supposed to be the like taken a leap, but it didn't. That's why like people like, okay, felt sort of like, it's just like sort of similar. Only even after
Yeah.
8 years, it's coming. It's like sort of. So I think, yeah, that's pretty
But
much it for the ranking aspect.
but now we are at Bad Boys, Ride or Die. What do you think? What are your expectations for not only just Ride or Die, the future of this franchise? Do you think we have a lot more sequels to go? Because the third one almost felt like it could have been a conclusion as well, like to
Yeah,
the franchise.
same.
So, what are your expectations moving forward?
So for me, I first of all, I don't want it to continue like the Fast and Furious franchise with like one more
Family.
ride. It just takes away the
And there
whole.
is potential because they brought that new team, and
Yeah.
like you could go
So
that route, right?
what I was thinking is like, it would be cool if they can associate with like other buddy cops from like well-known movie. Like the first, the obvious one which I could think of is like the Ice Cube and Kevin Hart one. I think it was Ride Along,
Okay.
where like, or even like the Rock, and like, of course, like Rock wouldn't.
I mean, you
Uh,
know The Rock very well, right? You just
yeah,
you have
yeah,
worked
I
with him.
do. Of course, I do. I just like, no, like, of course, I keep forgetting when you have to. I am like very humble that way. It's like, you don't have to bring
But
it.
like I think you had told me this, and I had another idea. I was like because I both are Sony Pictures, I believe. So I was suggesting the Jump Street franchise,
Oh
where
yeah,
like you could have like
yeah.
I think that would kind of work, like Jonah Hill and
I
Martin
think that would
Lawrence.
be better than my suggestions, to be honest, because the synergy those two guys have and these two have is like very completely
The
different.
funny thing is they were going to do a Jump Street Men in Black crossover, right? The Sony leaks came out a
Oh,
few years
I
back.
wasn't aware of it.
So they were
Oh,
that was in the plans, like a Men in Black Jump Street crossover. That also would have been hilarious, I think, because Jump Street,
no, Jump Street is just such a heartwarming. I just love it so much, and like both the parts, like people are like, okay, man, I'm like, nah, dude, it's like both are like awesome. I really love
Channing
those characters.
Tatum, Jonah Hill. Oh, it was hilarious. I mean, for me, the first one always has a softer spot because they are in
Yeah.
high school and all that. There are some iconic scenes that I really like. The second one is also really fun. Like the second one is also we will be doing a Jump Street episode. Like I think.
Dude, second one has like, my name is Jeff, so you cannot beat that. Come on, like, I don't care. Like,
Oh, but we have a Jump Street episode planned in the
oh, we
future.
do. Oh, of
Yes.
course we do.
Yeah,
I
I
was
showed
not
you
supposed
the.
to be shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
The acting is very
this.
bad.
Yeah.
You okay? Yeah, you learned from the Rock. Right?
See, even though I did actually meet with Rock, but don't you dare disrespect my childhood
Oh,
hero.
I'm kidding. Rock is great. But yeah, I think that's about it for today's podcast discussion. We are still sort of figuring everything out. Like this is a new kind of thing that we are doing. So there will be a little bit of technical difficulties that you might see here and there. But just
And
bear with
psychological
us.
difficulties, which are
Yeah,
gonna
I
hurt
mean,
the most.
like my webcam won't be the best quality maybe for the first few episodes, but it'll get better.
That's the thing, na. We cannot give the audience everything at like day one.
We have
They'll
to
be like,
evolve it.
"Arey,
Yes,
yeah,
we
exactly,
don't want to be like Bad Boys 2. We want to be like Bad
yeah,
Boys 3. So,
yeah."
but yeah, I mean, let us know in the comment section what you guys thought of this of this first episode of the podcast. And next week we are planning to do Inside Out. So I think hopefully we'll have Nona over, and it'll be a I think great discussion on that. It's a really good movie. I think both of us like it.
Yeah.
Or do you hate it?
It's that elephant scene where it's like putting on songs and it just connects with you. Ki, Acha, that's how you randomly come with the song. I'm like, yeah, it's so precious. It's so precious. I love it.
Save it for the next episode.
Yes.
Because, I mean,
There's the teaser for the next episode.
Yes.
There you go.
But yeah, that's it, guys. If again, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, that's it. Smash that like button and see you later. Keep geeking out.
Come, buddy.